Good morning, everybody. I've got the poll up live. Please take a second to respond to the poll. If you've never responded to a poll, you might have to tap on the bottom of your screen and look for the triangle, the square, and the circle. You're looking for the word activities. You might have to hit your three dots, get some more options. Raise your hand if you can't find the poll. What do you got, Doreen?
Yeah, I can't find it. Where am I looking?
Try and tap the bottom of your screen. Are you on a phone or a desktop?
Desktop.
Yeah, so on the bottom of your screen, maybe you got a mouse over the bottom, scroll over. You're looking for a triangle, a square, and a circle, or something that says activities.
Yeah, I'm in there. Oh,
And
I see it.
poll.
Never mind. I got it.
All right.
Got it.
You bet. You bet. Anybody else? All right, half of you guys have voted. Half of you, I know some people are probably in a position where they can't vote, but we should be able to get more than this. If you're struggling to find it, again, tap the bottom of your screen, hit your three dots. You're looking for triangle, square, circle, or the word activities. You guys should see the results now. I think this is a new little feature. You guys seeing the results on your end? Or do I have to end the poll first?
We can see it.
You can see it without me ending the poll? All right, we'll kind of leave it at that. So for those of you guys who aren't in a position to vote, I just was trying to get a gauge on the biggest challenge in real estate right now. So your options were finding new clients, getting offers accepted, time management, utilizing your CRM effectively, and the NAR settlement changes. So happily, because I think we put a good focus on it, only a few people have put NAR settlement changes. So if you're struggling with the NAR stuff, please watch the recordings that we've done. We've done a bunch of trainings. I believe we're still doing Q&As, maybe not. So maybe just reach out to a regional leader if you're struggling with something. But we've had quite a bit of recorded training on this stuff. Sue, do you have a question?
No, not a question, but I got an email from the board with some documents, information that we can share with our clients. I didn't know if you guys looked that over or not. And
Which board? Which board, Sue?
National Realtors Association.
The NAR, not the Realtor Association of Pioneer Valley or the Mass Association. It was the national.
I think it's a national.
Yeah,
I'll recheck.
Yeah, they've been sending in a pretty frequent email.
I don't think it was anything new, Sue. I think it was just some more of the handouts that are available on facts.realtor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've been maybe once every other week sending out an email with those resources. So does anybody want to talk to one of the votes that you placed? And maybe we can help you. Maybe we can get some feedback from somebody else who isn't struggling. Enzo.
I'll say so I did time management because I feel like if I were to be able to clean that up, like if you have a problem with one of the other things you put in the poll, it could kind of trace back to poor time management. If you're having trouble getting clients, what are you not doing with your time that's preventing that? If you're having trouble learning something, the time is usually the root of most problems. If you're using it improperly, I find that I have problems with other things if I'm not using my time wisely. So I feel like that was
look, I mean, it was the highest voted selection on the poll, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think you're alone here. And maybe some people are feeling that way and just didn't put that. I would say that the number one place where you can get the time back is phone usage. So have you looked, Enzo, especially given your age, have you looked at how many times, like what your phone pickups are and how much time, screen time and social media time? Do you know those stats?
Yeah, I take a look here and there, and sometimes it kind of teeters off, or I'm using that time on things I should probably be putting somewhere else. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely have a lot of screen time. It just sometimes varies on what it is, and it could be,
Yeah.
it always could be something more like useful or effective. But yeah, I mean,
I think that's the root of most of it.
yep.
To be honest, is these phones are so addicting. And if if you just set the following habit of
Mhm.
daily looking at your screen time result from the day before and trying to make an improvement, I
Yeah.
think that alone can really help you with your time management, right?
Yeah.
So not just saying, hey, I'm cutting all social media, whatever. It's, hey, let me look at my last week. And let me see if I can do better this week. Let me see, because it'll tell you, are you down 10%? Are you up 10% from last week? So I would think something like that can really help, because it just eats it up so quick.
Yeah.
The other thing is control of your inbox. I would say that's probably time suck number 2. So if you've never done a good audit of your inbox and what's hitting and what's not and how it gets categorized, I think there's a lot of wasted time there as well. Like, how many times a day are you checking that email? How often are you dealing with emails that, really are promotional products? There's stuff that has the word unsubscribe in it. You probably don't need that stuff.
Yeah, I try to filter all that stuff kind of out. I made like tags for like just groups that I won't look in for stuff that I just get spammed with. That's one thing.
The easiest filter is to filter everything that has the word unsubscribe in it, because that means it's a marketing email.
Yep.
Right? If you just wanted to start with that, filter out, obviously every marketing email or some of these spammers don't put the word unsubscribe in there, but the majority of them have it. So if you just set a filter to look for that word and put all that stuff into one folder, you should be dealing with mostly one-to-one emails in your inbox. Anybody else just want to share anything time management related that you feel like is working for you? I will say, one of the paths that I've been trying to go down recently is this minimalist path, and I subscribe to a minimalist email. So it's a gentleman who kind of tried to take all of the not necessary stuff out of his life, but still run a family and work and all of that stuff. And what seems to come up in a lot of those, I don't know if it's a daily newsletter or whatever, is the expectation of what we can actually get done in a day. And I know I struggle with this a lot, of just thinking, I'm so busy, but my list was 30 things for today. Maybe you just need to reduce that list to what's actually reasonable. And then pat yourself on the back, maybe, because maybe you're accomplishing a little bit more in your day than you really think you are. So that could be an interesting audit for some people. It's just, what are your expectations realistic? Given the fact that you've got kids, you've got a job, you've got another family member that needs help, right? Then maybe the 30 things that you're trying to get to every day, that nobody could have gotten to those things. So a little bit lower expectations. Anybody else on time management stuff? Or somebody want to talk about one of the other things that they checked off? Second place was finding new clients. I will tell you, for those Roe v. agents who are on the lead side of things, we recently moved to, instead of just having an open C, to having agents can ask for 10 leads and then do a 10 days of paying on those leads. And we are seeing a lot of success out of the agents that are actually taking the bull by the horns and doing that. Right? So instead of just relying on a new lead to come in, we've got, I don't know, 60, 70,000 old leads. Ask for 10 of them. work those 10 with the 10 days of pain, send this text, send this email, call them 10 days in a row or 10 touches over 20 days, whatever the case might be. Weed out the stuff that's no good. Hopefully you're going to get a couple of conversations that they might not be ready to buy right now, but now you got to nurture, you got a conversation going. So taking action instead of just waiting for new leads to hit. If you're not in the lead side, then you got to get out and about and you got to talk to new people. What groups are you joining? What hobbies are you starting? What networking events are you going to? What are you doing to bump into more people that have real estate conversations? Anybody else want to talk about any of the other topics, utilizing your CRM effectively, getting offers accepted? We did a, if you're somebody that put getting your offers accepted and you haven't listened to, I think it was Tuesday's call, we reposted that. It's one of the rare times that I took the recording and actually posted it internal at Rovi. Please watch that one. There were some great nuggets shared on how to get your offer accepted. All right, why don't we just open it up for some roundtable? Who's got something going on a deal that they've got a question about, or has a share from something that's going on one of their deals? So,
Hi, so we just went through inspections and there's, the inspector kind of he didn't come out and say, you know, this person didn't pull permits, but hinted around. Then we, had 2 people come in to give us estimates, and those 2 people were scratching their heads going, how could this have, you know, how could they have done this? It's, you know, because the house was rehabbed, and it was a homeowner doing all the work. And we were told it was their contractors, family contractors, and everybody's scratching their heads. So the buyer asked for their permits, and some of the permits are not for the work that was done. So it's like, you know, she asked
yeah,
me
look,
what
I think this is definitely a problem, you know, nationwide. You've got a lot of these home flipper shows and everybody thinks they can be a home flipper. And so you're getting some shoddy work, no doubt. And so the only way to really rectify is you got to say, what needs to be done in order to get it up to code, to pull the proper permits? Is the buyer okay with some of the stuff being a little bit shoddy, or do they want, you know, some sort of a credit, or do they want the actual work redone? And it becomes it can be difficult because the seller says, look, we're not doing that. It's already done. It's good enough. So yeah, I don't know that there's really necessarily an answer other than I think shoddy work is becoming a norm.
Well, this is the heating going up to the second floor, on the first floor and second floor. And it was just really, you know, so now she's going, would it be okay to ask for a reduction in the house? And I'm, you know, we're at 379, so basically 380, asking that to go down to 350. And I says, we'll ask and see what they say.
Everything always, for these negotiations, guys, my word is always the word leverage when it comes to this stuff. If there's 7 other offers on the table, I don't care if the heating system doesn't work at all. Asking for a new heating system is probably not going to fly. Right? Now, if you're the only offer on the table, asking for a new heating system could be completely reasonable. And if you're somewhere in between, you know, maybe something in between is reasonable. But that's the reality of negotiations. Whoever has the leverage is going to win. Right? You could have a house that's got a bunch of issues with it, but if there's 20 other offers, somebody else is going to take it with those issues, most likely. If you're the only offer, time to start asking for repairs. Property's been sitting for 90 days. You can ask for repairs and get them. Right? I think that's the conversation that you got to have with your clients when these things come up. Totally get it. HVAC doesn't even work on the second floor. Reality is there's 7 other offers. We know that. We were lucky to beat them out in this scenario. And if we back out, somebody else is going to grab it. So if you guys want to move forward, you're going to have to take the house without, great heat on the second floor.
Well, that's what I said to her. Our inspections came up with these two things, that he's either going to fix it or he's going to give you a credit. Either way, if you don't move forward, he's got to fix those things in order to sell the house. So you might as well stay in and see what he's offering back.
Yeah, you gotta be careful if he's got to. Right? I don't know. Does he have to? Not if it's priced right and there's 7 other offers. Right? So it all depends. I don't know where the pricing is. I don't know how many other offers there are. So, but those things got to come into play. Martin, you had your hand up.
So I just wondering, has anybody ever had, like, this is a foreclosure and I had to do it through their system. There's no signatures involved. There was no, it was just really odd. All they were asking for is how much are you paying and when's the closing date is really all they really asked for dates and everything else, and a little bit about financing. But it was like, no one had to sign anything. I could have put anything I wanted for my customer, and it was just weird for me. Like,
It was an online bidding process.
it's not even like a bid. It was just an offer.
So you're not dealing with an online website to put your offer in. There's an actual listing agent. You submitted the offer.
There's a listing agent, but the listing agent, I had to go through their website.
Okay. Yeah. So when you go through the website, they all work a little bit different, but they also typically will have like an FAQ or a how to place an offer, and you just follow the directions. And yeah, some of them are very, I don't know, informal, and some of them are really formal. And you're signing a purchase and sale right up front with all the details and everything's laid out. And then some are somewhere in between. But yeah, having a super informal one is not rare. But I would say if you haven't checked the website and found that section that says, here's the steps, right? And understand, hey, this is a non-refundable deposit. Some of these things have, right? If we accept your offer, we expect the deposit within 24 hours, 48 hours, 72. And once it's in, you don't buy, we keep your deposit. There's no contingencies. There's no nothing. Some of them completely normal, right? You can have an inspection contingency. You can have mortgage contingency. You can have all of that stuff. So it's just really important when you're dealing with these bank-owned foreclosure deals that you go to that website and you read the fine print on how their offer process works. What contingencies do they allow? Because most of the time that listing agent, they're getting paid next to nothing. They just input these listings and they're very unresponsive.
No, the agent actually was very good. I got to say that. And believe it or not, I was surprised for bank owned, it's paying 3%, which is, I thought was like, holy shit.
Yeah. Great. Anybody else have any just commentary to add around doing a bank owned deal? Anybody done one recently that just, hey, I wasn't expecting this happened. Watch out for this. A lot of times you're not going to get utilities on a bank owned deal. So you're not going to be able to test plumbing. You're not going to be able to test, HVAC. Sometimes this can be issues for the lending. You got to talk to the lender, make sure the lender understands, what we're going to be able to test. They can't get the electricity on. You can't get the HVAC to work. You can't test the AC. Right. Sometimes the bank is going to allow you to get a property up and running. So let's say it was in the, it has been winterized, so all the water has been taken out of the pipes. You can re-winter or de-winterize and add the water and test the plumbing, but you're going to have to pay for a re-winterization prior to being done with the deal, even if you're backing out of the deal.
So back in the spring, we had a short sale. We were allowed to pay for oil to be put in to test the heating system, and turn the water on and everything. What ended up happening, the radiant heat pipes burst, shut off right away, which didn't cause too much damage with the water. But my buyer bought a home warranty. So it helped with some of the costs of, other things potentially that may go wrong with that house. She was very happy with doing that. So that's,
Yeah.
If you're gonna maybe suggest a home warranty.
And the other thing is that Sue threw out a term there, short sale, right? That's different than a foreclosure. So foreclosure, REO, those terms mean the bank has already taken the property. The bank has an asset manager that is now managing the property. In the case of the short sale, right? The bank doesn't have the property yet. They're in the process, potentially of foreclosing. Or it's just simply that the seller does not have enough money to pay off the bank with the offer price that they're going to get, right? The market value is $300,000. They owe the bank $325,000. So they're $25,000 short from being able to pay off the mortgage. And sometimes it might be, hey, the mortgage is $300,000. They're getting $300,000, but then they've got all of their closing costs and everything. So they're going to be $10,000 short. Right. So what do we do in that situation? We've really got to dot the I's, cross the T's, maybe have an attorney put together for that seller exactly what all of their closing costs are going to be so that we know, hey, if we don't get $304,500, we're not going to be able to pay off the mortgage after all your closing costs are done, my fees are done, etc. Right? We need $304,500. Market says we should be able to get $307,000. I think we're going to be okay here. But if we get $300,000, right, you're going to have to come up with money. You might have to go into your savings for $4,500 to pay off that loan. So just really making sure that that seller understands what are the exact numbers down to every closing cost that they're going to be responsible for, and then can they pay off that mortgage? And if they can't, now we're in that short sale position, right? And so now you've got to call the bank and say, hey, look, here's the deal. I know I owe you $300,000. It's looking like I can get you $295,000. I don't have any other money. Would you take it and take a $5,000 loss? That's basically what's going on in a short sale. And then the bank's got to make a decision, right? Typically, if you have some sort of a hardship, you had somebody passes away, you had a 2-income family, somebody passed away, somebody's sick, and there's no longer income coming into the house, and the bank looks at it and goes, we're never going to get our money back. We might as well just do this short sale. But if money's flowing and your clients are just blowing it on vacations and boats, and maybe the seller or that mortgage or the lender is not going to let them out, and they're going to say, nope, you owe us that money. We know you've got it, and we're going to come after you for it. So that's typically how those things are playing out. Does anybody want to add some commentary around the foreclosure, the short sales? When you don't have enough money to pay off, Martin?
So we've purchased 2 homes with short sales, and both times the bank it wasn't us who was asking for the extensions, it was the bank. And it literally took like 3 months to close on one home, where they basically kept asking for extensions till finally our close date was on Friday and the foreclosure date was Monday. They were just prolonging it till the very last day, basically. So just that's a heads up too, to tell you if you're on the buy side that, it's going to take some time.
Yeah. When it was real bad and we were doing a lot of short sales, sometimes they were taking 6, 9, 12 months to even get a response. Right? Because they could come back and they could say, hey, look, you're short 30,000. We'll sell it short 15,000. Come up with another 15 and we got ourselves a deal. But we're not letting you out of this for 30,000. Or maybe they're going to let you out and you got to pay a note back. Hey, we'll let you sell the house, but you owe us that 30 grand. Here's the terms. Here's how we're going to structure it. Sometimes they're going to say, hey, you don't owe us the 30 grand, but that's a gift now. And now that your seller's got to pay taxes on that 30 grand. So there's a bunch of different things that can play out on those short sales. Wendy, you had your hand up.
Yes, hi, good morning. I was just gonna say on the BPOs, look at me. On the oh my goodness, foreclosures. It didn't happen to me, but I did hear that if you're not careful, I think it was Pat was talking about the dates, they can I don't know how it's done, but go through with the foreclosure while you're in the, I'm sorry, it was a short sale process. While you're in the short sale process, I don't know how it was that it was mentioned to me, but it did happen that the foreclosure went through and they thought they had the purchase, but they did not. It went to foreclosure.
Yeah, I mean, pretty rare for that to happen because you should be in communication with the bank, right? Your attorney should be starting to talk to the bank. Hey, look, we're trying to do this short sale. Are you guys okay with it? You know, are you not? But yeah, I mean, if there's no communication or there's a miscommunication, you know, right in the middle of the negotiation, they could just lose their house, right? So it's really important if somebody hasn't been making their payments to find out where in the foreclosure process they are, what letters have they received, and get a real estate attorney involved as soon as possible to understand how much time do we really have here. Different states are going to be, you know, have different timelines. Different lenders are going to have different timelines. You know, I've seen it where within the first 3 to 6 months of missing payments, they are moving rapidly. I've seen it, they haven't made a payment in 2 years and they still haven't gotten a formal letter that the foreclosure process has started. Very weird and across the board, different experiences, different lenders, different states. So we've got to understand for your seller, where in the process are they? Anybody have any other scenarios to kind of throw out on the table? Got a minute left here. We can handle one more situation. Have something weird going on or something that you learned?
Steve, in a short sale, the owner of the property or the person that has the mortgage can say, yes, that price is, I'll accept that price. But ultimately, the bank has to say, yes, we'll take that price.
Yeah, it's a good point, right? I mean, the property's on for 300,000. Hopefully the listing agent understands that it's a short sale and they've disclosed that, right? So it's on for 300. They owe 325. Seller, you know, because a lot of times the seller, they know they're not getting any money, guys, right? So they go, yep, 300, we're good. Now you tell your buyer, yep, 300, we're good. You're not good. You're not good until the bank has approved the 300,000, the $25,000 short, right? So you really got to start to understand that. It's a great point here because if you start lining up inspections and paying for the appraisal and all of that stuff, your buyer could be out thousands of dollars here and you never had a deal to begin with. And so typically you're going to say, hey, we will do inspections. We will do appraisal once we have short sale approval. Right now, if we've got a hot property, you may need to say, hey, you know what? To get this offer accepted, we'll do the inspections and the appraisal up front, knowing that we might not get short sale approval. Because if I'm the seller, the problem with waiting for short sale approval is, okay, you don't do inspections, you don't get an appraisal, we get the short sale approval, takes 60 days to get it, we get it, now you do inspections and back out. Now you find out you can't get the mortgage. Now I'm back to square one, right? So depending, again, whoever's got the leverage, if I'm the listing agent handling a short sale, I want you to do your inspections and appraisal up front. I want this thing to be done. And yes, I realize we might not get the short sale approval and you might be out that money, but I got 5 other people with very similar offers. My seller's not going to get any money here. I'm looking for somebody that I know I've got myself a done deal. Yeah, so.
If you're taking the listing for a short sale, you really should have an approved amount from the bank that they're going to accept, correct?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, that's ideal. That's definitely ideal. But sometimes what's going to happen is the bank's going to say, we're not approving anything until you show us you made an effort to try and sell this property. Right? We want this on the open market. properly marketed, show us what you can get, then we'll make our decision. Right, so a lot of times they're not going to approve something upfront. Great question though. Jeff and Linda.
Yeah, I was just going to agree with you. No, the bank will not state a bank approved number until an offer has been submitted for them to review. So it's only after, so you have to, until somebody submits an offer, the bank will not issue a number that they're willing to stand behind. And then they usually send out their own appraiser straight away to make a determination on if they're going to move forward. That's, at least that's been my experience in Illinois. I don't know how
I've
it
seen
happens
them-
elsewhere.
I've seen them approve it without an offer.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen them approve it without an offer. I've seen them approve it without it even being listed.
Huh. See, and okay. I guess it's different everywhere.
Just different everywhere.
Okay.
Different depending on the banks, different depending on the person's situation.
But at least we can ask the bank if we're taking the list side, if they would give us a short sale approval for a number.
Yeah, and they may just say, hey, look, we're willing to work with you. We're not ready to give you a number, but we're willing to work with you, right? And again, typically there needs to be some sort of a like what's the word I'm looking for? Some sort of a life event that's going on, and that's a reason why they can't pay all of a sudden, right? If you're just like, hey, I don't feel like making the payments, probably not going to work with you, right? But if they can see, hey, there's a life event here, somebody passed, somebody got sick, like there's a real significant loss of income here, we're better off cutting our losses now, right? And now you got a lot of these automated appraisal systems where they might be able to spit out a number, or they're just going to say, hey, look, I get it. We see this. We don't, we feel for you. We're willing to work with you. Get it listed, get us a fair market value, and we'll evaluate. Wendy.
Yes, isn't that where you would fill in, like do a hardship letter?
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. So a hardship. Yeah. And so what is the hardship? Okay. If there's no hardship, most likely short sale is not going to get approved. Any other thoughts on bank owned, short sale? Seller doesn't have enough money to pay off. All right. Great discussion today. Appreciate you guys. Go finish the week strong. We'll probably, Monday's a holiday, so we'll take Monday off and we will get back after it on Tuesday morning. Enjoy your long weekend. Take care.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Have a good one, everybody.